In summer 1943, a German supply train carrying ammunition to Kursk exploded. It died 200 miles behind the front. People who didn't exist destroyed it. By then, 374,000 Soviet partisans hunted in the German rear. More troops than America had in Europe. This isn't the Eastern Front story, you know. June 1941. Barbarossa smashed forward. The Wehrmacht trapped millions of Soviet soldiers. Some escaped. They hid in forests. Germans controlled the roads. Nothing else. The forests swallowed them. 30 men here. A dozen there. Red Army soldiers became something else. Stalin ordered partisan warfare. No one listened. Everyone was running. Then the Germans started killing villages. A trapped lieutenant watched Germans burn his village. His family died screaming. He stopped hiding. Started hunting. Others joined him. Survival became revenge. But the Wehrmacht had a problem. Their maps showed victory. Reality showed something else. They held cities. They held highways. Therefore, the forest belonged to shadows with guns. A German convoy entered Bryansk Forest. 20 trucks. 300 soldiers. They found burning wreckage. No bodies. The forest had eaten them. The shadows were learning to fight. The first groups formed from desperation. Trapped soldiers. Communist officials. Farmers with hunting rifles. They didn't know each other. Didn't trust each other. But they all hated Germans. They learned by dying. Attack a checkpoint. Lose half your men. Blow a bridge. Germans shoot 10 villagers. Every lesson cost blood. Their own or civilians. Usually both. Local party secretary Mikhail organized one group. 43 men. 7 rifles between them. They stole German weapons from corpses. Built bombs from unexploded shells. Turned farm tools into weapons. Winter 1941 arrived like death itself. Minus 30 degrees. Germans froze in their vehicles. Partisans knew the cold. Used it. Attacked German posts at night. Left sentries frozen at their posts. Literally frozen. Standing dead. A German report described the horror. They come from nowhere. Strike. Vanish. We find our men with throats cut. No footprints in snow. Like ghosts, killed them. By December, 90,000 partisans operated behind German lines. Disconnected, uncoordinated, but growing. Every German atrocity created 10 new fighters. Every burned village meant more revenge. Moscow finally noticed what was happening behind enemy lines. May 30th, 1942. Panteleimon Ponomarenko took command. His job, turn forest bandits into an army. He brought radios. He brought plans. He brought death to the Germans. The first radio crackled to life in a forest camp. Moscow spoke. Partisans listened. They had targets now. Rail junction at Orsha. Supply depot at Vitebsk. Bridge over the Desna. Sidor Kovpak led the deadliest raids. Civil War veteran. Knew how to bleed an enemy. His raids covered over 10,000 kilometers. Germans couldn't catch him. He moved like smoke. Struck like lightning. Planes dropped supplies at night. Explosives fell from the sky. Radios. Ammunition. Medicine. The forest camps grew. Hospitals appeared. Weapon shops. Print shops for propaganda. Underground cities. But Himmler had plans too. He called it Bandenbekämpfung. Bandit warfare. Every civilian was an enemy. Every village a target. Therefore, the war behind the lines turned savage. A partisan remembered the change. Before, we were hiding. After Ponomarenko, we were hunting. Moscow gave us teeth. The radio changed everything. Before, a partisan group might blow one rail line. Not know another group hit the same line yesterday. Wasted effort. Now, Moscow coordinated. 10 groups, 10 different targets, maximum damage. Training camps opened deep in the forest. NKVD instructors taught explosives, radio operation, silent killing, document forgery. The amateur hour ended. Professional killers emerged. Supply drops came weekly. Parachutes floating through darkness. Partisans gathered them like deadly Christmas presents. TNT, detonators, radio batteries, medical supplies, even vodka for morale. German intelligence noticed the change immediately. Better weapons, coordinated attacks, professional tactics. A Wehrmacht report warned, the bandits have become an army. Kovpak proved it. His mobile group traveled on horseback. 500 fighters, machine guns, mortars. They moved faster than German motorized units. Struck, disappeared, struck again 50 kilometers away. One raid destroyed 17 German garrisons in 10 days. Railway bridges blown. Supply depots burned. Telegraph lines cut. An entire German division spent 3 weeks chasing smoke. The Germans tried infiltration, sent Ukrainian collaborators posing as partisans. Most got caught immediately. Partisans had passwords. Moscow verified identities by radio. Infiltrators died badly. Very badly. Word spread. Germans started sleeping in their tanks. Partisans ruled the night. The coordination was working. Time to show what strategic guerrilla warfare could do. Belarus was 40% forest. The Pripyat marshes stretched forever. No roads. No maps that worked. Just swamp. Trees. Death. German tanks sank in the mud. Their radios died in the swamps. Their supply trucks exploded on forest roads. The geography itself fought them. A German battalion entered the forest. 800 men. 3 weeks later, 200 stumbled out. They never saw their enemy. Just mines. Snipers. Shadows that killed. Partisans built entire cities underground. Operating rooms hidden in bunkers. Schools for children. Command posts linked by radio to Moscow. The forest wasn't hiding them anymore. It had become them. Germans tried massive sweeps. Operation Cottbus. Thousands of troops. Planes. Artillery. They found empty camps. Dead ends. Booby traps. The partisans melted away. Then struck the German rear. But frustration made Germans brutal. They burned villages. Shot civilians. Created dead zones. Therefore, more people joined the partisans. German brutality became partisan recruitment. A German officer wrote home, "We own nothing here. Every tree watches. Every swamp hides death. This isn't war, it's being hunted." The Bryansk forest alone held 12,000 partisans. They controlled 3,000 square kilometers, had their own government, hospitals, weapons factories, even theaters for entertainment, an underground nation. German maps showed occupied territory. Reality showed something else. Daytime Germans controlled main roads. Maybe. Nighttime partisans owned everything. Villages that flew German flags by day helped partisans by night. The Pripyat marshes became partisan sanctuary. No German vehicles could navigate the swamps. Local guides led partisans through paths Germans never found. Partisan boats moved through channels invisible from air. One German unit got lost in the marshes. 3 days wandering. Partisans watched. Waited. Let hunger and mosquitoes do the work. Then killed survivors. Left bodies as warnings. Germans stopped entering marshes. Partisan camps evolved into fortresses. Multiple defensive rings. Minefields. Machine gun nests. Escape tunnels. Early warning systems using local villages. Germans needed battalion strength forces just to approach. usually found empty camps. Partisans had vanished hours earlier. The forest provided everything: food from hunting, medicine from plants, building materials, hiding places. Local knowledge meant survival. Germans had maps. Partisans had home advantage. Women made up 25% of partisan forces: scouts, medics, radio operators, snipers. Germans never expected women fighters. Fatal mistake. Female partisans collected intelligence in German-occupied towns, then disappeared into forests. Children acted as messengers. Too young to suspect, they carried information between partisan groups, warned of German movements. Many died. Germans shot children too. Age meant nothing in this war. By 1943, partisans controlled more territory than Wehrmacht. Moscow was ready to weaponize them. Single track from Warsaw to Smolensk. One rail line feeding Army Group Center. The Wehrmacht's throat. Exposed. August 1943. The rail war began. One night, 8,000 charges detonated. The German rail network died for 2 days. Kursk got no reinforcements. Thousands of bridges destroyed. Thousands of rail cuts. Every repair crew became a target. Germans needed 10% of their Eastern Front strength just to guard trains. Still wasn't enough. A train left Minsk with tank ammunition. It exploded outside Orsha. Another left with medical supplies. Partisans took it. A third carried reinforcements. They found twisted metal. No train. But the Germans fought back. Armored trains. Guard posts every kilometer. Patrols with dogs. Therefore, partisans changed tactics. They hit repair crews, blew switches, cut telegraph lines. Operation Concerto, September 1943. 120,000 partisans struck simultaneously. The entire German logistics network hemorrhaged. Guderian called it death by 1,000 cuts. At Kursk, German tanks ran out of fuel. Artillery ran out of shells. Because trains never arrived. Because partisans owned the rails. The numbers told the story. Before rail war, Germans moved 60 trains daily through Belarus. During rail war, 12 trains. Maybe, if lucky. Most never completed journeys. Partisans developed new tactics, delayed action mines. Trains exploded hours after partisans left. Germans never knew which rails were safe. Paranoia spread. Train crews refused to work. Some deserted. German countermeasures failed. They attached empty cars to locomotive fronts. Partisans let them pass. Blew the ammunition cars behind. They used local forced labor to check tracks. Partisans warned workers where to avoid. Germans found nothing. One partisan group specialized in bridges. 15 major bridges in 2 months. Each bridge took Germans weeks to repair. While repairing, no trains moved. Supply crisis deepened. Frontline units starved for ammunition. The psychological effect multiplied the physical damage. German soldiers knew supplies weren't coming. Morale collapsed. Why fight when no reinforcements would arrive? When ammunition ran low? When medical supplies disappeared? A captured German diary revealed the impact. No mail from home. No supplies. No hope. The partisans have cut us off. We are already dead, just waiting to fall. Partisan intelligence identified critical shipments, tank parts, aircraft fuel, winter clothing. These trains got special attention. Multiple partisan groups coordinated. The critical supplies never arrived. German offensive capability died on the rails. The Germans tried deception. Fake supply trains. Decoy shipments. Partisans had informants in German rail administration. Every deception revealed. Real supplies targeted. Decoys ignored. By October 1943, German rail movement in occupied territory had collapsed. What should take days took weeks, if it arrived at all. The Wehrmacht bled out through its severed supply lines. The true test was coming. Bagration would show what partisan army integration could do. June 20th, 1944. 4 days before Bagration, every German phone line in Belarus went dead, cut simultaneously. Army Group Center went blind. Belarusian partisans seized river crossings. They held them for the Red Army. German reserves couldn't move. Roads exploded. Bridges collapsed. Command posts burned. General Bush commanded Army Group Center. He couldn't reach his divisions, couldn't coordinate defense. His 350,000 men fought alone, in the dark. Partisans fed intelligence to Rokossovsky, every German position, every weak point, every ammunition dump. The Red Army knew everything. Germans knew nothing. But the Germans tried to retreat. Therefore, partisans blocked every forest road, blew every bridge behind them. Wehrmacht soldiers found themselves between hammer and anvil. A German colonel's last radio message: partisans everywhere. No retreat possible? God help us. Army Group Center died. 350,000 casualties. The partisans had set the table. The Red Army feasted. The coordination was unprecedented. Partisan commanders had Red Army liaison officers. Real-time communication. Partisans became eyes and ears of advancing Soviet forces. They marked German minefields, identified strongpoints, captured bridges intact. One partisan group held a vital crossroads for 6 hours against 2 German battalions until Soviet tanks arrived. The partisans lost 80% killed. The crossroads stayed open. The Soviet advance continued. German units retreated into partisan-controlled territory. Like entering a meat grinder. Every forest trail had ambushes. Every village had snipers. Germans abandoned vehicles, heavy weapons, wounded comrades, just to move faster. Still too slow. Partisan groups that had operated for 3 years knew every path, every hiding spot. They guided Soviet reconnaissance units, showed them German positions, led them around strongpoints. The Red Army advanced at unprecedented speed. German communication breakdown was total. Units lost contact. Orders never arrived. Artillery fired at wrong coordinates. Reinforcements went to abandoned positions. Chaos. Panic. Collapse. Some German units surrendered to partisans rather than regular forces. They feared partisans less than frontline combat. Wrong choice. Partisans remembered 3 years of atrocities. Few Germans survived surrender. The Berezina River crossing became a slaughter. Germans tried to cross. Partisans held the far bank. Red Army artillery found them in the open. 20,000 Germans died at the river. History repeated. Different army, same result. By July, Army Group Center had ceased to exist. 28 divisions destroyed. The partisan contribution was undeniable. They had paralyzed German command, blocked retreat, provided intelligence, held critical points. Success came at terrible cost for those living in the shadow war. Katyn burned. The whole village. SS and Ukrainian collaborators locked families in barns, set them ablaze. Children screamed. Parents couldn't save them. 5,000 Belarusian villages erased. Collective punishment. Support partisans. Your village dies. Don't support them. They might kill you. No good choices. A partisan commander faced the decision. Attack the garrison. Save the rail line. But his village stood nearby. His mother lived there. His children. He attacked. The garrison died. The village burned next day, his family with it. The war demanded these choices. Operation Kotbus swept through Belarus. Thousands massacred. Not just partisans. Anyone. Everyone. Old women. Babies. German logic was simple. No people, no partisans. But killing civilians created more partisans. Every murdered family produced vengeful survivors. Therefore, German brutality defeated itself. The mathematics of atrocity were predictable. Germans burned one village. 3 neighboring villages joined partisans. Germans killed a family. Every relative became a fighter. German terror multiplied their enemies. Some villages played both sides, fed Germans information by day, fed partisans by night. Survival required flexibility. Both sides knew. Both sides used them. Villages trapped between forces. Children grew up in this horror, saw parents shot, homes burned, neighbors hanged. They joined partisans at 12, 13, carried messages, planted mines, died like adults. The war consumed childhoods. Partisan discipline varied wildly. Some groups protected civilians. Others demanded food at gunpoint. Some commanders were heroes. Others were bandits with ideology. Villages never knew which type would arrive. The derailing Brigade specialized in anti-partisan operations. Convicts and criminals in SS uniforms. Their methods were medieval. Torture, rape, burning people alive. Even other SS units avoided them. One survivor remembered the choice. Partisans came demanding food. We gave it. Germans came asking who helped partisans. We lied. Both sides could kill us. We chose who to fear more. Villages developed warning systems. Church bells meant Germans approaching. Different pattern meant partisans. Children posted as lookouts. Everyone ready to flee to forests. Sometimes it worked. Often it didn't. Some collaborators helped Germans hunt partisans, local police, former Soviet prisoners. They knew the terrain, the people, the hiding places. Partisans hunted them relentlessly. Collaborators died worse than Germans. By 1944, Belarus had lost 25% of its population. Entire regions depopulated. The partisan war had extracted a price beyond imagination. By 1944, the tide turned. Shadow armies emerged from forests. Red Army advanced. Partisans joined regular units. Forest fighters became soldiers. They hated the uniforms, hated the rules. But they marched west. Stalin trusted no one. Heroes in newspapers. Suspects in NKVD files. Partisans had lived free too long. Thought for themselves. That was dangerous. A partisan commander got his medal in the morning. NKVD arrested him at night, charged with unauthorized enemy contact. 3 years of fighting Germans. Gulag reward. But the numbers couldn't lie. 500,000 German troops tied down. Infrastructure destroyed. Logistics shattered. Therefore, when Red Army struck, Wehrmacht couldn't respond, couldn't reinforce, couldn't retreat. The partisan war proved something new. Modern war had no rear area, no safe zone. Every occupation becomes a bleeding wound. America would learn this. In Vietnam, in Iraq, in Afghanistan. Wehrmacht planners calculated after the war. One partisan tied down 10 German soldiers. 10 soldiers not fighting the Red Army. Math of guerrilla war. Many partisans couldn't adjust to regular army life. 3 years of independence. Making their own decisions. Now following orders from officers who'd never seen partisan warfare. Friction was inevitable. Some partisan units got disbanded immediately. Dispersed among regular units. Their knowledge wasted. Their experience ignored. The Soviet system didn't like independent thinkers, even heroic ones. Others got special assignments, reconnaissance units, behind enemy lines in East Prussia, Poland, Germany itself. Their skills still valuable until the war ended. Then they became problems again. The NKVD screening process was brutal. Every partisan interrogated. Who did you know? What did you do? Why did you survive when others died? Survival itself became suspicious. Many disappeared into camps. Some famous commanders survived. Kovpak became a general, led regular units. Others weren't so lucky. The more successful the partisan, the more dangerous to Stalin. Success meant independence. Independence meant threat. Forest war was over. Lessons echo still. Desperate bands hiding in forests became a strategic weapon. They evolved from survivors to soldiers, from chaos to coordination. Wehrmacht's war machine bled to death from 10,000 cuts. Hitler's quick victory dream died. Not just at Stalingrad, in every forest ambush, every blown rail, every dead supply truck, every burned bridge. Partisans proved modern war's brutal truth. Front lines exist everywhere and nowhere. Hitler conquered territory he couldn't control. Wehrmacht occupied land that consumed them. No rear, no safety, no rest. Only shadows with guns, bleeding them white. Military planners still study this. The lesson written in blood across Eastern Europe. You can conquer land. You can't conquer forest full of people who want you dead. The partisan war holds thousands of untold stories. Women partisans who made up 10%. Intelligence networks. The complex dance between partisans and civilians. Which piece of this shadow war deserves its own deep dive? Tell us below. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe for more fascinating World War II historical deep dives every week. Thanks for watching.